Bye.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. We're going to call this meeting to order. So please rise for the national, not the national, the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we'll sing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. I don't want to have a meeting.
All righty. Well, this is awesome that we have a full house. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you being here. Tonight's going to be an excellent night where we get to celebrate some of our finest. Just real brief, our format is we'll do our reports and our recognition, and then we'll take a small break. So those of you that have homework tonight can go home and do your homework, and the rest of you that want to stay for the business part of the meeting, you're welcome to stay. With that, Chair Adave, I do have some changes, additions to the agenda. We are going to, I want to talk a little bit about a policy review update and talk about forming a committee. So I need to add that to the agenda.
And now we'll have the student reports. Ayana and Audrey? Or we'll have Bailey.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. My name is Bailey Foster. I am the freshman class vice president. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some things that the Glides high school students are doing. Sports. Last night we had a home wrestling duel where Brock BP won 2 matches, Rowan M won 1, and Zach S won 1. Tonight we have a home girls and boys basketball game against Lakeview. The dress-up days today to support the girls and boys basketball team was Plaid Day. ASB. The freshman dance, Glow Hard or Go Home, will be neon theme and on March 1st. Our officer team has already planned our assemblies, dress-up days, have a DJ, and have decorations ordered. The juniors have been working hard to plan prom. This year's prom will be a wildlife safari on May 17th. The theme will be One Wild Night to fit our venue. Stay tuned to hear more about the dress-up days and lunch activities and assemblies. There is currently dress-up days for each home basketball game to encourage support and school spirit. ASB is currently working towards an assembly for Valentine's Day. We will be doing candygrams this year. Each candy will be 50 cents and can be sent to anyone you would like. The Science Club had their first bake sale and to support their upcoming Seattle trip in March. The second and last bake sale will be February 9th. FFA had a chapter meeting yesterday to discuss upcoming contests. They have currently been working on parliamentary procedure and preparing for FFA week. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Audrey Odell, and you probably knew me from January's board report. As is January the School Board Appreciation Month, the students and staff of Glide Elementary would like to give a heartfelt thank you to all the board members. Mrs. Kinney has helped out to put together a swag bag on behalf of everyone. GES, I would like to give to you. Tomorrow marks the end of the second quarter. We've made it halfway to the point. And just like we did at the end of the first quarter, the GES student leadership team is planning and will be leading an all-school assembly. We'll be recognizing and honoring all the students who have reached their reading goals in classrooms, who have set the best attendance. Additionally, we are going to plan a fun activity involving students and staff, a game called Gaga Ball. Gaga Ball is a new game Mr. Dyer introduced us this year. The 4th, 5th, and 6th grade spaghetti dinner auction is coming February 8th. Which I'm going to pass out soon. You guys will have your complimentary tickets. This is a great community event with many people, businesses stepping up to donate goods and service or to bid on items. The meal is fantastic and the event is top notch. It wouldn't be possible without the direction from teachers and more than a dozen volunteers working behind the scenes to make everything happen. This fundraising event helps support many 4th, 5th, and 6th grade vendors, arts and crafts materials, battle of the books, classroom sets, reading awards, to just name a few. We also support many school-wide events and needs. Thank you for all your time once again, for your selflessness and all you do for our district.
All right, thank you so much for that. And now we are going to hear from Rebecca Beam and the FFA students regarding the National FFA Convention Report.
Is this on? Okay, looking good. All right. Hey everybody, I'm here with the other members that went on the National FFA Convention trip. We had a nice, was it 5-day trip? I believe it was like, yeah, about a week. We went down to, we flew into Nashville, Tennessee, and toured around there, and then we took a road trip up to Indianapolis for the National FFA Convention and Expo. There at the Expo, we learned a lot of skills, leadership skills, team building activities, stuff like that, and got to watch the national officers put on their big award ceremonies and presentations and watch some keynote speakers talk. So yeah, it was a great trip. The travels to Nashville, we had a lot of naps on the plane. It was a late night plane ride. Yeah, we flew out of Eugene to Seattle and then Seattle straight to Nashville, Tennessee. And that was a long plane ride from Seattle to Nashville. I'll pass it down to Landon.
This is in Tennessee. Miss Beam's friend, Herb Fritsch. He has an exotic animal farm that we went to. He's got pretty much everything you can think of. He's got a big greenhouse with all those koi fish in the top left and all those birds. I couldn't name all of them. There was like 200. And he saved a few from extinction. And then he's raising like white trout in the bottom middle. And he had a second farm. I don't think it's on here, but there was Watusis and red stag. A lot of different stuff.
So next we went to Broadway Street and we got dinner, and then we got to walk out the streets and go into shops, and it was a fun experience because it's not something you see in Glide, so that was fun. And we got to, it was on Halloween too, so there was a lot of people, it was busy. Yeah, but it was fun. There was a bunch of shops we went into, we had a good dinner, and yeah, it was fun.
Then the next day we went to Gaylord Opryland Resort, which is like a humongous hotel, and there's like indoor garden inside of it, which is huge. I got lost multiple times. And it was full of plants and flowers that were like huge and everywhere, and there were lots of beautiful landscapes. It was a really cool place to tour. I definitely had a good time there.
Hi everyone. I'm Brock Baron Pereira. Yeah, there. Got to pick up a little bit. We took a day and went to the Nashville Zoo. That was a very interesting place with lots of different animals that you would definitely not see in Glide, Oregon. It was a fun experience going around. At the same time we were there, they were having, I think, I think they're getting ready for, what were they getting ready for? Chinese New Year. So they had a bunch of, as you can see, there's a picture right there. They had Chinese decorations all over the place. With that, they had a bunch of exotic animals that you don't just see at Wildlife Safari. So it was a very neat experience and very fun experience.
So, hi, I'm Addison. We went to the National Convention. Like Paul said, we took a trip up to Indianapolis. and we got to see the national officers do their retiring address, some keynote speakers. We went to some workshops and learned about leadership and team building and all that stuff. We had a great time there, and yeah.
As you can see in the bottom right corner, we had long days and short nights, so any chance we could get, we'd take a little nap.
We went to Indianapolis Zoo too. It was, in my opinion, a lot better than the Nashville Zoo. Lots of animals. That kangaroo in the bottom left, that we were getting that close to him. There's no gates or anything. You can walk in right with them. That was really fun. I like that one a lot better than Nashville Zoo.
After we were done with the convention, we took a trip to another place in Indianapolis called Fair Oaks Farms. They had 2 separate locations of a pig farm where you could see the growth from when they buy their little gilts and raise them up to be producing sows. And you could see there were different rooms where you could view, and you could view the area where they were getting bred and where they would be a week before they farrowed. And then they had the farrowing room where they were having live birds, and we could witness that, which was pretty interesting. And at the other location was a dairy farm, and they had one of the very few autonomous milking productions out there with the bottom middle. The cow walks onto the merry-go-round sort of thing, and it automatically hooks it up with a robot. So that was pretty interesting.
I would like to add that they had very good milkshakes.
We would like to thank our school board and alumni for all the support and encouragement.
Thank you guys very much.
All right, that looked like a lot of fun. Brock, I need more information on the milkshake, so. All right. Great showcase already tonight of some of our excellent students. What I want to do right now is just take a moment and recognize the people that donate their time to ensure that opportunities like what you just saw, presenters like you just heard, have the best education possible, and that's our school board members. These people are elected to this office. Despite what you hear, they do not get paid. They're putting their time in because they care about kids and they care about the students of the Glide School District. I want to recognize Dan Metz as our veteran board member. Dan's dedicated. That's probably one of his fans out there. There you go, perfect. Dan's our experienced board member. He's served this district for many years. The other 4 are fairly new, and I will have to tell you that this board is dedicated to ensuring that the student experience in the Glide School District is one of the best that we can offer. They're engaged, they listen to the community, they are tasked with making really tough decisions, and some of those decisions not everybody's gonna like, but I will tell you that they put a lot of thought and integrity into those decisions, and their goal is to make this school district the best it can be for our students. With that, I want to personally thank you. Of course, they're my bosses, so I have to personally thank them. But besides that, I want to say thank you for your time and effort, and just a little card and a little momentum for you if you want to pass those that direction. And those of you out in the audience, would you please join me in a round of applause thanking our board members for what they do. Now comes the fun part.
Thank you for that, by the way. Janet, you're reading, right?
So now we're going to do the SB Awards.
And I apologize if I get anybody's name wrong. Please just correct me. So the first we're going to start out, I'm going to read them because we're doing this a little bit different. So we've got some words that were written about each student. So the first one is for 12th grade is Lacey Bernard. So Lacey, you can go around. If you're looking for a poster child for determination and strength of character, Lacey fits the bill. While encouraging multiple barriers for the past several years, Lacey holds her head high and just plain gets it done. She is a defender of truth and will always stand up for what is right, no matter who the foe. Her smile lights up our campus and reminds us to always look for the joy. Upon graduation this year, Lacey will be pursuing a career in nursing. Yahoo! Let me know if you are looking for a job. Where we have no doubt that she will bring supportive care to every patient she meets. Thank you, Lacey, for your heart of gold and exemplifying a life of giving. Our next student for the 11th grade is Gabe Winters. Gabe is one of the most positive young adults you will ever meet. His school attendance is phenomenal, having only missed 3 days this entire year, 2 of which was while he was showing at the state fair. He is reliable, engaged, and gives his all to every class and every single day. He has great musical skills with the potential for cutting a Christian or R&B record in the foreseeable future. So maybe we want your autograph now. Gabe is a friend to all, a role model for his siblings, and makes our world a brighter place with his presence. Thank you, Gabe, for being a light in the storm for so many and for teaching so many of us that laughter is the best medicine. The next one for 10th is Cheyenne Bean. Cheyenne is a well-rounded student athlete with the desire to always help those around her succeed. She lends a great perspective to the class discussions and shares her smile with everyone she meets throughout the day. She is extremely active in school along with athletics and FFA. There is never a dull moment when she gets home as well, as she manages her own set of show sheeps and cows in which she markets to the local youth for the Douglas County Lamb Show and other jackpots. Furthermore, she helps out with her family guide and outfitting services, demonstrating a maturity well beyond her years. When you put all of Cheyenne's traits in a bucket, the professional that best describes her is business. Thank you, Cheyenne, for being a rock star example of our district both during and after school hours. For 9th grade, it's Elijah Hatfield. Elijah is determined when it comes to his classroom and wrestling. His determination was truly evident in the ag mechanic shop as he finished his welding assignments well in advance of his peers. He has a great work ethic, kind attitude, and is genuinely courteous to his classmates and staff. Additionally, Elijah does a great job of balancing his academic requirements with his athletic schedule. While he has been setting the wrestling world on fire, he also reaches out to help everyone around him. Elijah is a prime example of what it looks like to have an absolute integrity as a student athlete here at Glide. Thank you, Elijah, and congratulations. For 8th grade, it's Jackson Denovit. All right. Jackson is an extremely intelligent, courteous young man who is always on task and extremely kind to his peers and staff. There is not a day that goes by that Jackson doesn't thank our food services staff for lunch, hold a door open for other students, or complete all of his work with unbelievable accuracy. Fun fact, he is highly interested in the Mesozoic era and can impart dictionary full of dinosaur facts at a moment notice. Okay, so Jackson, can you give us a dinosaur fact? There you go. To put his knowledge into action, Jackson will be traveling to Florida this summer to participate in a bona fide fossil dig. We are hoping he unearths a T-Rex and brings it back to display in our lobby. Jackson truly exemplifies what it means to be a giver to the world, and for that we say thank you and congratulations. For 7th grade, Arlene Campbell. Arlene is a kind, positive, and caring young lady. She was always on task, responsible, and respectful on and off our campus. Allie is the first person to help someone with a question or in need of a friendly conversation. She demonstrates what it means to be a positive influence for all of her peers and has an incredible work ethic as evidenced through her cowgirl approach to life. If you have a hard job in front of you, Allie is the friend you want beside you. This goes for schoolwork and on the ranch. Please help us congratulate Arlene Campbell for her grit and grace here at Glide Middle School. For Glide Elementary, for 6th grade, Hattie Barron. Hattie possesses all of the qualities of an SB recipient. Her ever-improving academics achievements, incredible work ethic, positive attitude, kind heart, and above all, the ability and desire to push herself to always be the best, and encouragement to others to be their best selves. For 5th grade, Jillian Hurd. Okay, I'm going to read about Jillian. A visitor to the class would quickly learn that Jillian Hurd is an outstanding student. She excels in all her academic subjects and always puts carefully thought into and pride into learning activities. But what I hope that a visitor to our classroom wouldn't miss is that what a genuine, awesome person Jillian is. She is kind and caring towards all. She has a sense of humor that keeps things light and fun. Finally, what impresses me most, she seeks ways to be helpful towards her teacher and fellow classmates simply because she sees a need. People like Jillian are what I call the glue because they hold the world around them together. Congratulations to Jillian. For 4th grade, Addison Olson. Addison Olson is a stellar student. She consistently gives her best effort throughout the day and has shown great success in both reading and math. Addison consistently shows kindness to others and is well liked and is willing to help others. She is a joy to have in class. For 3rd grade, Liam Bennell. Liam Bennell is nominated for an SB Award because he is friendly to all, consistently demonstrates outstanding behavior, and always works so hard to be successful at school. He sets an example for all of Glide Elementary students to follow and has a smile to share with everyone he meets. Liam is truly a joy to teach and learn from every school day, and our class is lucky to have him. For 2nd, Callie Gonzalez. Okay, I'll read. I would like to nominate Callie Gonzalez. Callie has shown improved leadership in the classroom and has been eager to participate in all activities. She has also worked really hard to reach her reading goals. She made a plan of nightly reading with the help of her parents and was able to improve tremendously and raise her Dibble scores. Go, Callie. And then for 1st, Trayton Stratton. So Trayton Stratton always has a smile on his face and is willing to help anyone. He is truly such a kind-hearted guy that has been soaring through all areas of academics. Trey is always putting others before himself. And lastly, but not least, kindergarten, Alexander Priest. Yay! Alex is an active and social kindergarten who not is, as we can see, is not only eager to share what he knows, but likes to help others with their learning as well. He is an active participant in class discussions, and he is always willing to lend a hand or supplies to others in our classroom. Alex is also a hard worker and strives to do his best on his assignments, especially in math and art. Thank you, Alex, for being an important part of our classroom family.
We also just want to give a shout out to Coho Pizza again for offering up gift certificates for everyone. Thank you very much. And also that we understand that it's Aline, not Arlene Campbell. And now we're going to take a break. Thank you. Right? Thank you for volunteering to do that. I had no idea what.
I don't think so. Why? Yeah, I do. I think, a few of them were a little long, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think, just a couple of them seemed a little. But I think it's still, we'll adjust. We're just not used to it. I think it's good. I think it highlights our kids. Yeah, I think it highlights our kids. Yes, and it says why, what we're honoring about them. Oh, where is he? Right there.
Hey, you're not excused to leave yet.
Yeah, where are you going?
What's up with these retired people? Just leaving. Thanks for coming, Jerry.
So he was principal when my daughter went here. We had lots of conversations. I did. Yep. Lots of combos. Huh? Right? We'll tell him. I think that's the key. Yeah? Cool.
Oh, look at that.
Aww.
That is super cool.
Awesome. He said I went to Deer Creek, but I'll still wear it. This was really super sweet of them.
Totally opposite. I enrolled my boys in bike school district just as the pandemic was going on. It was the best decision I ever made. We were struggling in the last school year. 3 older children graduated from my HLS college. We did a really good job. After adopting 4 boys, I knew English school was not a good fit. My boys have beyond excelled in the bike school. And I just did not know school was such fantastic people. Whatever you have been doing in hiring practices has been great. They are all fantastic people. They're so friendly, helpful, supportive, and genuine with their job. I have yet to find anyone harsh to say about any of them. They let my boys express their feelings, needs, and irritation with such helpful advice. I cannot thank you enough for having such great staff and teachers. I love going to school. They love going to school. 4 years ago, none of them wanted to go. Now they can't stand to lose any year.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. That is amazing.
Hiring great teachers and staff. They're the best. I have never seen and interacted with over the past 30 years of raising children. Thank you so much. Wow.
Oh my,
Tissue.
right? Me too. Like, I know what a big difference. I mean, it's a big deal when that happens in your family. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna call us back to, I mean, we weren't technically tapped out, but we're bringing it on back. We're gonna continue. And so now, without further ado, I believe we have someone waiting on video, right, to give us our district audit. Vicki? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hi. So I just wanted to give a quick summary of the audit this year. We audited the Glide School District basic financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. The audit was conducted in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States, as well as applicable government auditing standards. An audit provides you with reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material misstatements. Internal controls are examined and tested in conjunction with the audit testing. We also watch out for signs of fraud. In our audit testing this year, we found no internal control or fraud issues. Based on our audit, we gave the district an unmodified opinion, which is a clean audit. It's great. And then I believe that we had previously shared my little summary sheet here of notes for some of the financial numbers. And you could see over on the right-hand side, this is a good reference for you for future as to where you can find some of these main numbers within your audit report, because it is a very thick report. The ending net position for the district increased from just over 11 million to 12 million for year over year, an increase of $1.3 million, which is great. The ending fund balance for the government-wide ending net position went from 5.7 million to 5.8 million, an increase of 178,000 year over year. Your ending cash went from 5.6, it was pretty steady. It was 5,606,000 and ended up with 5,695,000, an $89,000 increase. So that was pretty steady given the magnitude of the numbers in your financial statements. Your revenues year over year are still up compared to prior years. It increased from 12.5 million to 13.6 million year over year, just over $1 million increase in total. Your state school funding for the district is 33% of your overall funding. So 4.5 million of the 13.6 was state school funding this year. And a majority of that is based on the student attendance. You also had a very strong level of federal funding this last school year. That increased from $1.2 million to $1.358 million, so 104,000 higher. That is also over the $750,000 limit for single audit. So we did have to do a single audit, and we did an extra thorough review of the ESSER funds this year as part of the single audit, and everything was clean in that area as well. In the area of PERS, your PERS unfunded liability increased from 4.4 million to 6.1 million, a change of 1,747,000 year over year. And that is affected quite strongly by the actuary interest rates that they select up in Salem. So that can fluctuate widely from year to year, but that represents the portion of the unfunded retirement for your staff. And that is a very long-term amount. It is not something you would pay right this minute, but it's just something to be aware of. Your pension bonds payable went from 1,880,000 to 1,650,000, a decrease of 265,000 for this last fiscal year. And then your PERS debt service fund went from 791,000 to 693,000, a decrease of 98,000 year over year. A couple of the things that we like to look at within the districts to see how strong the financial area is within districts include one, looking at the general fund expenditures. We like to see general fund expenditures covered of at least 10% at the end of a school year by your general fund ending fund balance. In your case, you have more than twice that amount at the end of the school year. So you are in a strong position. The other thing that we like to look at is looking at benefits versus salaries, and is that percentage reasonable? Reasonable would be 60% or less, and your district had 50%, and that is consistent with prior years. And it's also a very good position to be in. So overall, the audit went well and everything looked great.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes.
On behalf of the district, I want to reiterate a couple things that Ms. Rapp had said. The district is required every year to solicit an unbiased audit, and I want to give a special shout out to Vicki and her team. They did an amazing job. They were thorough. They asked great questions. I want to give a shout out to our district team who provided the information needed in order for them to do their job. It really was a team effort, and very proud of this report, and you should be proud of this report too, board members. What this shows is that this district has done a good job with their funds. They've been prudent, and the money's going in the right direction. And Vicki, I just want to give a special thanks to you and your team for helping us out.
Thank you. And for those who saw me last year, I do have an arm. They were able to rebuild it, and I'm learning to use it again.
I guess I'm curious, given, I mean, what you're saying is that the typical ratio that you're looking at, and I saw the note, which is basically, you know, we may have excessive funds that could be used for investment, and I don't know if there's a plan. I don't know what the standard is for school districts, you know, to have a lot of money in reserves or not, but I'm just curious what that, if there's conversation around that, given that this looks really positive right now. And I know that the forecast for next year may not, and this year may not be as positive, so I also know that you want to have some, but it seems like we have a little bit more than what maybe that we need, and how that might be invested in other things.
So I can add one thing. The board's goal since before I got here, because of turmoil that happened just before I got here, has always been to keep an 8 to 10% number. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you're all aware of that, but at 8 to 10% carryover so we can pay the bills the next year, which we haven't always been able to do. So,
Yeah, you want to have some kind of a buffer so that you have the ability to pay your expenses before the property tax funds start rolling in for the year.
Yeah, and Director Holland, to answer your question too, school districts, not only in Oregon, but across the United States, have been really blessed with lots of federal funding, and I think that's, Vicki had alluded to that. That, for lack of a better phrase, that well is going dry. And we have gotten really used to adding and spending money in Glide, and that money is going away now. So it's really going to be prudent upon the budget committee to ensure that we're doing the things that you're asking and moving this district forward with sound financial decisions.
I think some of that money had been targeted for expenses like for the locks and the fences and that work, and none of that's gotten spent. Is that correct? So some of that money is.
We have spent a lot of our ESSER funds, ESSER 3 funds. We actually had a meeting this past week to ensure that we spend them. I wish Carolyn was here so she would know the exact date, but it's the end of September we have to spend those funds. And we're making sure that we are doing those tasks that you're talking about that we.
So some of that, Bob, just thinking some of that holdover from last year could be some of that money that was going to be spent last year that didn't. Yeah,
yes,
so it's
correct.
It's already been earmarked from last. It just didn't. The money didn't get put out.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You're exactly right. It is part of a plan. We have to submit that plan, and it needs to be approved through the ESSER committee. And then if we vary from that plan, we have to submit another summary and ask permission before we vary from that plan.
And more, Mr. Freeman, is Carolyn aware of these results?
She is.
Very good. So she should be commended for, I wish she was here too, so she could hear that.
Absolutely.
In front of everybody, that's a momentous task and to keep us out of trouble, and she's obviously doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Well, thank you very much, Vicki, and your whole team.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe we are moving on to the consent agenda. So I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
John's micless, so I'll help him out.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Okay.
Thank you to those raising funds. Sorry, there's some raising funds in there, so just say a thanks to, one was for basketball and one was for OSET. So thank you to those people.
Yes. All right, all those in favor of approving consent agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
All righty, our next topic for discussion is around the district priorities. Quick, no? Did I miss it?
Oh. Yeah. It does look like a header. It looks like a header.
Okay, we're gonna do the public participation. We didn't have any yellow cards, just the one that was submitted from online. And so I believe this is Gary Moore, Katie Wright.
Will you make sure that the green light's on the?
And then just, yeah, tell us who you are and
Okay, I'm Gary Moore, Secretary Treasurer of Glide Water Association.
I'm Katie Wright, General Manager of Glide Water Association.
And we're just here to ask permission of the school board for, we want, as we gave you, we have some water curtailment stages that, and what we want to do is put up a sign on Bobcat Lane as you turn down the Glide Water right there. And that's owned by the school. And we would like permission from the school board to put that sign up, and we'll have, it'll be like a sign like the Forest Service, you know, you have green, yellow, you know, start looking at water curtailment. And then red is like, hey, nothing's gonna happen. You guys need to just use it for, you know, basic needs and stuff like that. So that's what we're here for. Katie, you have anything to add?
Yeah, we just are trying to promote water conservation efforts. And so public awareness is key as we're trying to upgrade our water treatment capacity for our water treatment facility. Because during the summertime, we just can't make enough water to keep up with demand. So that's why we want to implement having a sign for people to see so they know if they need to curtailment their water usage accordingly. That way we don't run out of water.
We are trying, we're in the process of updating our water capacity. Where we have a 175 gallon per minute water plant right now, and that's why we're on a moratorium right now, and have been for the last 2 years, so we're not approving any new hookup, and we're in the process of putting another 175 gallon water plant in, so they'll run concurrently together. And so until we get that in, and you never know, you know, we may run into issues down the road, even with 2 plants going, pushing 350 gallons a minute. We just want to have that sign up there to make people aware and like that, hey, if we run into an issue, we're gonna, you know, curtail the water supply. And people need, and most people in Glide have been really, really good when we put out phone calls, hey, you need, you know, put your water down, shut your water down from watering your flowers and yards and stuff like that. And we've had a couple of those situations in the last few years with the fires and stuff. So we just want to do something like that to make people aware as they drive up and down 138, they'll be able to look and say, hey, we're on a yellow, hey, we need to stop watering our yard. So that's what we're just here for. We try to just put up a sign, have you guys permission to put it on your property, which is just right on the outside of our property.
And it would be located as the intersection off of Highway 138 down to Bobcat Lane. And of course, there's the Dollar General right there. Of course, between the Dollar General and that intersection on the same side of the road, there's a small lot that's not used. And that's particularly the area we would like to put the sign. So that's for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know,
technically it would be within your property lines.
Yeah, it would probably be just outside of the right of way on the Glide School District property. We don't want to, because if we put it in the right of way, you're going to have to deal with ODOT and everybody else. So we'd just soon have it on the school property, which is, you know, going to be highly visible for anybody going up and down 138. I just want to commend all the school board here for everything you guys are doing for the kids in the community. I don't have any kids in school anymore, but I did. And I just want to commend you guys. Good job, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for bringing this information forward. So we'll consult with all the appropriate people and we will be getting back to you shortly.
Yeah. Well, I won't go that far because the river is like
A little muddy.
so there's
Do you want to ask?
Thank you. Katie, are you located at the water treatment plant off of Bobcat Lane? And do you have regular hours? Okay. All right. Copy. It'll probably be myself meeting with you in the future. So Katie and I are the worker bees, so we'll get in touch and then we'll take it to our boards and make sure it's mutually agreed upon by both boards.
Thank you. Thank you. You too. You too. Okay.
Hey, now I get to talk. All right, the crowd has dwindled down. Thank you all for hanging in there with us. I'm not going to go into too many details because all of you are very familiar faces and know that the priority of this board was to engage authentically with the community and hear what the community had to say about our school districts and how to improve it. The board went through a couple learning sessions with OSBA and embarked upon a task of developing vision statements or priorities for the district. These are high-level goals that we want all students to experience and guides the work we do in the organization. We spent 3 nights, 3 hours each night engaging with the community that include stakeholders of parents, staff members, students, and community members, and of course the board. And we ended that 3rd session with 4 statements that we wanted to send out to the community. From there, Chair Adave charged me to meet with the students to get a more student voice into these statements. And as I met with the students, it became really apparent to the students and myself that vision statements 2 and 4 really could be combined because it talked about the experience within the school system that led to outcomes after students graduated. And so the recommendation from that group was to go from 4 to 3 vision statements combining 2 and 4. The board then directed the district to seek more input from the community. So with the help of our IT director, John Black, we put together a survey that went out to the community. We sent it out 2 different times. We sent it out through Parent Square, through Facebook, and through our website. We pushed emails of our students and that were in our system and to solicit feedback. In front of you is a summary of the information that we received back from our pushing that out to our community. I'm not going to go through this entire document. You guys, this is really what you can use as a basis for a discussion tonight. But I will tell you, if you'll just look at the very first page, you can see that the 3 focus areas are on this. And then we just kind of asked what your initial thoughts of the proposed vision statements. All the way to the right-hand side, number 5, at 54.5%, that was a comment that they extremely agreed. Number 4, at 27.3%, that they highly agreed. So if you combine those together, you can see there was overwhelmingly support of our vision statements. Below is a pie graph of the population Oh, I'm sorry. Do these visions accurately reflect the goals and values of the Clyde School District? 86.4% on our survey said yes, that they accurately support the vision of the district. So with that, Chair Adave, I recommend that you accept a motion to accept these vision statements, and then after the motion, then you guys can discuss further.
Okay, before we go there, can I ask how many responses were actually received? Not number one and number two. Well, all right.
If she doesn't, I will. So you're in trouble.
Should just be part of our discussion.
It was in the high 20s.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
So I will entertain a motion to accept the 3 district priorities that have been developed by the stakeholders.
I'll move to accept the vapor lock, sorry. I'll move to accept the stakeholder, the 3 district priorities, sorry, that have been developed by the district as presented. Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, and discussion? Anybody have any questions or things that they would like to?
Yeah, I was just kind of curious on, it says that there was 13% that didn't think they accurately reflected the goals on this. I was wondering if they gave any sort of.
Vision statements, there was the verbiage taken directly off of what they relayed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at this, and I think that what I saw was just, it seemed like there was general consensus on the first of them. It just really was that last one that I think that it just, in terms of 77%, with lack of, maybe more clarity, but I think the way it stands, I think is fine to start out with. We can modify this over time and add to it, but I think it's a good starting place. And I'm looking at, we did have what? How many people came to the session then? What? 30?
We had 4 or 5 tables of like 6.
28, so. Okay.
I wasn't just how many started on the first one and the second. Really was that big.
It's kind of a bummer about the high 20s for response. So I'll be the bear in the room. I mean, we do this for the community. So it's not about me. It's not about any of us here. It's about the community and the students. And I'm a little bit let down a bit that the community had an opportunity to bring in here. And this is a big deal. So, I mean, we haven't had direction for 8 years. True direction. What company runs without any direction? Not one that stays in business. So it's great. I mean, we have a wonderful financial stand. I mean, that's certainly a big check there. That's a great start. But this is where the rubber meets the road for the students. So maybe we didn't convey that well enough. I don't know. But I think we have to run with what the data we got. And I think we're off to a flying start. I also believe that a strategic plan is a living document. It's not something, here it is, let's grab the Flintstones and put it in stone and nail it to the wall. It's going to be, we should constantly be checking that.
We will.
Questioning it.
That is
and making it better all the time. We can't sit on our laurels on this or you'll stagnate.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So as much as I would like to have gotten more feedback. I mean, we reached out to the community, to staff, to students. I mean, I feel we made a tremendous effort. Thank you, Robert, for doing that. Not an easy task. But looking at the data, even though it may be a small sample overall, it looks quite positive. So I think we need to take the ball and run with that. So my vote will be yes.
Yeah, I wanted my take on it in that I know it would have been great if like every member of our community chimed in, but I'm thinking that, to me, I interpret it as that folks are feeling like we're doing some good stuff here. And so lots of people didn't feel like maybe they needed to because they already did. It's already being captured. So I see it as a definite positive that we're moving things in the right direction. So I'm pleased.
That's a consideration too. As much as I would really wanted to hear from them, hearing nothing, sometimes no news is good news.
That's right.
So maybe we just run with that.
Yeah,
But it
I
makes
think
me concerned, that's all.
I'm not, because the complainers complain, and that's what you get. That's the way that works. People were happy, or we would have had hundreds of responses.
Exactly.
That's the way that works. I mean, even the percent that didn't, feel it was that, because the people that are going to complain about it or didn't like it are way more likely to respond. So if you took the entire, I think that 13% number would have been way lower if you took everybody's voice. But I mean, if you didn't have nothing to complain about, why would you respond? I wouldn't have. So.
Director Quimby, to capitalize on that, I should have told you that all the way to the left, number one is if the person engaging in the survey didn't agree with that, not sufficient, and nobody hit click that button.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that this is a framework. I completely agree, Tim. I think this is a framework that we build on, and it can be modified and changed over time. It should be. And what's really important is that this is a place to start, and then we put the action in so that the community can see the action behind it, and we have that plan about that community engagement piece.
Yeah, absolutely. This is meant to be reevaluated each year to make sure that we are in a line with, right, that we're meeting those objectives. So yeah, it will constantly be, that's our job, reevaluate this. Cool, I'm really excited. Yeah, any further discussion about this? All right, all those in favor of accepting the visions, the vision statements? Tim, come over and whisper in my ear.
No more dessert before the meeting.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passes. Woo! Yeah, sorry, very excited.
All right, excellent. I am too. That means I can get busy now and start working on a strategic plan. I'll keep you updated, and then, of course, once we get that developed, we'll bring it to you for approval.
You weren't busy before?
Good point.
Just checking.
All right. Those of you that were new to the board and new superintendent, you quickly recognize that many of our board policies were in need of overhaul. I think 1991? Is that when? Yep.
1991. Yeah.
And Chair Adave directed me to contact OSBA to see if OSBA would help guide us in a full-blown policy review. And I was able to contact Spencer Lewis, the head of that department at OSBA, and they're ready to get started. So what that means for us is that we need to form a policy review committee. And I suggest that we have a committee that meets with OSBA that includes myself, building principals, 2 board members, and we go through that process. When we get to different areas of policies that we have directors that oversee that, like I see Abe in the background when we talk about special education. He would be invited to go through that process with us. Carolyn would be involved the entire time. Ms. Powell would be involved when we start talking personnel, so they would have input. The principals would be on that committee because they enforce the policies every day, and it would be good for them to know what the current policies are to help guide their practice. Okay, so what that sounds really good, but in reality, I went through this process in Roseburg, and it's a huge process, and I'm all in. We need to do it. It's super important. The way things have changed recently, 1991 is not good to have as our North Star. We need to do better than that. But the commitment to be on that policy committee, you need to be able to dedicate probably 2 mornings a month. 2, maybe not mornings, maybe we do it around lunchtime or whatever, but what their format is they meet in 3-hour sessions. The person that's leading us presents the current language and then matches that to our old language. So you'll get a copy of our old policy, new policy, and then one that has lines that are redacted and then highlight the new language. And then we go through each policy to make sure it's reading the way we want it to read. So there's things like shall and may, or superintendent or superintendent designee. There's things like that we need to make a decision on, and that's what that committee does. And then as we get through each section, each letter section, we would bring that section to the board. Typically, there's a first reading on a policy where we'll present it to the board, and then have time in between. At the next board meeting, we present it as a second reading. Once it's passed on the second reading, then it becomes policy. I know several of you are very interested in this, and so I think you just need to lead a discussion with the board on who. We can only have 2, unfortunately. If we have 3, that's a quorum, and we can't do that.
So I will just say, if there were people that were other board members that were wanting to jump in before I said, I'll do it. I don't want to take that away from you. So,
well,
discussion?
If you get more than 2, we can vote.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
who gets on there. You haven't taken anybody away yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's, I like that. Yeah. Is there anyone that's dying to be on this? I love it. All right. Okay, you want to be alternate? All right.
I
Any
have
other?
a couple of questions.
Yes.
Are the meetings, are they going to be electronic, or how are we meeting?
Is it in person? I would assume it's in person.
The OSBA representative will come to us. We go through policies, have open discussions. It's not, because there's only 2 board members, it's not a public meeting. We'll share the outcome of the meeting.
Okay, and you said that it's going to be a 3-hour tour?
3-hour
Okay.
tour.
That was the format I used in Roseburg.
Okay.
After 3 hours, your mind's getting not really focused. You're starting to see words.
Sometimes on policy, it's
Right.
10 minutes.
Right?
Touche.
Then you hit 1991 and you just phase it out. But I'm sorry. More seriously here, it's okay, so 3 hours, and then when it's presented to the board, is the expectation that the board's not going to have any, the remaining members of the board is there any reason why we cannot offer more changes? Is that?
Absolutely. That's the process.
That's the right answer.
You're electing two people to represent you during this committee process.
Okay.
When it comes to the board, you're acting as a board member, so if you have questions or we'll elect either Tracy or John to be the chairperson of that committee. They're the ones that will report back to you. And if you'll get that information ahead of time, so you're prepared for the board meeting.
Yes.
So you'll be able to ask them questions, and as a team, we'll respond. And if greater minds have a different path that they want to go, then we can make those adjustments.
And I'm
Not set in stone.
thank you, because I'm with Janet. Yes, I have some interest. I'm afraid of my work interfering, so that's why I didn't jump faster than Tracy and on volunteering. John, thank you for saving me. But like Janet, I'll be glad to help out, and I read regulations every day, so reading more doesn't really thrill me, but let's just say getting ins and outs of it, I might have a little talent there that I would like to help, as I can. So thank you.
And most of the policies, because they're not all 1991, I'm not sure where
No.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Not all. No, because we've
updated-
updated as
You might have
they've sent
found
us
a from
updates.
1991, but we've reviewed
There's
lots of them. So-
several from 1990.
So most of them are up to date, but most of it is based on law, and there's not a lot. If to change in the policy, you're going outside of what anybody at legal will enforce. So we can change the policies however we see fit. However, our lawyer team is going to say, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Because the policies are boilerplate that are set. A lot of it's legislated, and it's out of our control. So just so you know, going into it, that's a lot of it is reading a lot of lawyer speak.
Yeah. And I think they do have it broken down into like mandated and like recommended, and then.
Yeah, a lot of it's just so heads up. That's a lot of fun reading.
Yeah, we could.
Right.
And that's some of the things that.
Yeah.
I hate these policies that we don't follow because, we're just ignoring that policy. And what are you teaching kids? Not very much if you don't follow the policies that you set forth.
All right.
So, some of them you don't, some of them you do.
I can back
yeah,
up too. I'll be a backup for, if somebody can't make it, I'll back up, but I
Oh,
can't.
that's cool. Thank you.
I don't have the
Sounds
time.
like everyone's going to be volunteering to be backup is kind of what I heard.
Well,
Yeah?
if we all have an interest in this.
Absolutely.
I think that, that again, I mean, that I've done this my career.
Yep.
Mostly, OJ policies. And I think it's really important that we do look at what that citation is, what that rule is, because sometimes without that knowledge and going and looking at, you're deciding an OAR, what did that OAR actually say?
The best way to deal with regulators is know the regulations better than they do. So that's why I think it's really important that in some of the policies, and I understand what you're saying, Dan, but there's some that we came across that aren't even in compliance with the current laws. So they need to be updated. And you trip on a couple of those, and then you start, for me, I get a bad attitude, and it's like, throw the baby out with the bathwater. So, yeah.
Like all our policies.
No, no. No.
I have read, there's living policies that have been over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
It's the outlier that's not.
Yeah, that's the
I
outlier.
apologize if I made it sound like all our policies were.
Yeah, not all. There's some. And we've definitely adopted all the new ones that come our way.
I just found it.
But it is a, it's
So I
a,
will say in Roseburg it was 1997, so we weren't that far off.
the 90s. Yeah.
I graduated in 93.
Oh, he's being the youngest. You're the youngest? Wow. Dang it. I was really holding that was going to be my title. Yeah. Yeah. All righty. Well, we're the Gen Xers, me and you. That's right. Boomers. Okay. All right. So we'll await our meeting dates and.
So they'll send an engagement letter to us, which I'll sign on your behalf, and then we'll start talking about the logistics, and then I will keep you updated on what that looks like.
One more discussion question. Is there going to be any spots for public on the policy committee as we create it? Because that question will come up probably.
I'm not familiar with that, but I would actually like to ask OSBA if that's a thing.
I don't know. It
I
might
don't know
come
either.
up, so.
Yeah.
If it is a thing, I don't want to steal from you, Dan, but that's a great idea.
It's another
I
set of
mean,
eyes.
we're here to represent the people, and again, yep, we can do it, but why not? Excuse me, get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, you know? It would be, it would be great.
Yeah, all right.
I think it's a done deal.
Okay. So,
Our June board meeting, we're just changing the date because we originally had it scheduled for Juneteenth, just June 19th, right? Oh, did you want to talk about that? Oh, budget committee, that's right. Sorry.
That's okay. No, you.
Budget committee, so we're down a couple folks. So Janet was originally on it, but had to give that up once she accepted the nomination and the appointment to the board. And then I believe they were already down 2 people from there. So now we need 3 people for a budget committee. So we are putting out the word that we are accepting applications to be on our budget committee. So tell your friends. We will begin accepting applications January 22nd, and I think we're going to make that interview, what? I just heard 2 different dates. And then she is on the budget committee, yes.
So we'll be seeing Abby's application come in here.
Right?
Who else? We'll be seeing Abby's application come in pretty soon. Who else is in the audience?
Okay, so we're gonna have those all in and make a decision on February 21st meeting.
Madam Chair, on those lines, I think it should be read into the record what the requirements are for the budget committee besides the polls.
Did you want to read that? I will let you do that.
Can, if you
Thank you.
desire. Okay. The committee is made up of the district's board of directors and an equal number of registered voters appointed by the board. Candidates must be registered voters in the Glide School District and have been a resident in the district for no less than 1 year. Employees of the district are not eligible to apply. The budget committee is responsible for reviewing the district's budget and may recommend changes based on board priorities. The school board has the final approval authority. And like you said, we're accepting applications. It says January 22nd, but so somebody gets a burr in their saddle and wants to do it tomorrow. I don't think nobody's going to say no. And the interview candidates at the March 20th board meeting. Oh, February, that's right. Well, I'm reading what's there. Okay.
sorry.
Okay. And now did you want to say something about the June meeting? Oh, right. So we moved it to the 12th. Is that correct? So our June board meeting, instead of June 19th, will be June 12th. And that's because we originally had it scheduled on a federal holiday.
All right. Evening's getting long. I do have a couple things I just want to say. I have been out in the buildings, both at the high school, middle school, and at the elementary school, and it is an absolute pleasure interacting with our students. Our kids are doing great. We had, I won't get it. So we had a first grader show up. She happened to be, remember when you spun the wheel and you were selected to a house? She got into a house that was receiving a reward that day. So her first day of school, she got a free recess, and she thought Glide Elementary was the coolest place on earth. She got to play some Foursquare with the superintendent. And when asked how her recess was, she said it was great. And then one of the office staff said, did you meet this person? And she goes, yeah. She goes, what's his name? That's Mr. Free Man. So now I am now known as Mr. Free Man at the elementary school. So it's great. She was awesome. What a great first day at a new school. Get a free recess. At the high school, we have lots of great things happening. You saw that our FFA trip was a huge success. What a great opportunity for our kids to see another part of the world. And kudos to Mrs. Beam. I wish she was here to hear this. She had some connections. I don't know if you picked up on the different farms that they went and visited. Those were because of her personal connections with those owners. And they got some pretty special tours. A little piece about me, you don't know that my in-laws used to have a milking farm where they milked jerseys, and we used to do it by hand and by the old pump machine. To be automated like that, I would love to see that. That would be incredible. And I couldn't count how many cows were around that circle, but that was pretty neat. What a great opportunity for our kids. More information than you wanted to know, I'm sorry. Our schools are doing great. Our teachers are fabulous. We are getting close. Principal Hauk and myself and Mr. Sensabaugh are going through accreditation review tomorrow. So we'll be able to have a report for you at our next board meeting. So that's coming to an end. Our winter athletics are going very, very well. We have lots of kids participating and succeeding. I don't know if you heard this afternoon, our JV girls started out after the first quarter, they were down 22-0, and they came back and won that game. How fabulous is that? That was incredible. Awesome. That just made my day right there. So, and then I didn't hear how our other teams did. I know our boys won, but our girls might even still be playing, or are they done? I don't know. I don't have an update. Anyway, our kids are doing great. Things are going really well. Would love to offer or have an invitation to you. If you want to come on a tour, I'd love to take you around and just kind of showcase some of the great things that are happening in this district. I feel really blessed that my job is I get to go out and interact with kids and play Foursquare on the playground with first graders. I got a hug today. It was pretty cool. All right, thank you. Oh, I want to just give a shout out to Carolyn. Carolyn's not able to be here tonight. As you heard with our audit, and Director Shaw, I'm so glad that you publicly recognized her efforts. Becoming a business manager for a school district is a huge learning curve, and Carolyn has been super dedicated. She comes in early, she stays late. I know she's working on things at nighttime, even though I try to tell her not to. She thinks about stuff on the weekend. She's attending as much training as she can get. She is very serious about doing the best she can and keeping this district in financial good situations. So I'm glad that you recognize that. She's not able to be here tonight. We'll pick up our financial report at our next meeting.
All right, so individual board member reports.
For those that don't know, we got treated to dinner tonight. It was fantastic. The On Your Own class did an amazing job. Epic meal. So thank you very much.
Yes, it was delicious. Super yummy.
Okay, I'll share. So this is kind of a momentous time for me because this is a year that I've been behind this desk and been through a lot. And I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate the appointment. I really do. There was days I may not have, but I've changed a lot. I've seen a lot. Had to go through the voting process, which I had really never ever intended to run for office, and it was quite an experience. But these crazy people voted me in, and I am very honored and feel very appreciative of the opportunity to sit behind this desk and work with all of you. I'm on a couple other boards, and this is my favorite one. And you guys already know I love the school. So I graduated and came back. So if that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. So, and what we've done after getting everybody, this group together here is just mind-boggling to me. And the direction we're going, the things we're going, I'm very, again, proud and honored to be a part of this. So I appreciate you guys and gals, sorry, it's old school term. So then I reiterate what Dan said. What is it, on my own? Yeah, that's there's some fantastic talent there, and very diehard students that went above and beyond, spending their own time, that it's not their only class, and we're put that effort out. It's shows care and respect, and I kind of saw some of that today too. There was I'm pretty sure it was a local person that rolled their truck on North Bank this morning, and I got there about the same time the ambulance got there, and some family members showed up. And I've been to a lot of wrecks, and nobody cleans up. And these guys were cleaning up the stuff that came out of the truck and helping out. They didn't have to do that, but it's that kind of pride and care and thought that this community has. That's what was going through my head on that. Also, I saw a post about, I don't know if you saw it, John, about the construction, that some kids from, I don't know the class, I'm sorry, if I'm stepping on my toes here, I called it VOAG back then, but they went up to Salem and went to K&E Excavating. I kind of have a special tie with them. We use them a lot professionally. We use them a lot, but they got to go up and play with, I don't know if they got to play some on the equipment, but they got to see a lot of the heavy equipment, construction equipment, and K&E's got some really, really nice toys. So, and we're about to kick off another big project with them in Eugene in the next week or two, as soon as the weather settles down. But I thought that was great. Kind of had a question. It's like, why not local? but that's okay too. Just a question. But it's great to see that the teachers are reaching out and going places like the FFA, going and seeing, some of that is like, well, what does that have to do with FFA? It doesn't matter to a degree. They had a direction to go, but then they expanded past that and expanded their world with that. Yes, you can do it on the internet. Yes, you can watch TV and get that stuff. But going face to face is never going to change. Because then you smell it, you see it, you feel it, and that's a massive difference. You can watch a big excavator working, but you go up and touch that thing and you feel that steel, that's different. That's just a different feel altogether. And I don't know, John, how do you feel about smell of hydraulic oil and diesel and motor oil? So, right, but I mean, you go out to a logging show or something, and you go out to your equipment and you smell that, and there's something there, smell the hydraulic fluid. So, no, it's not really good, but I guess this is a pre-93 thing. So, and again, the on my own class, that was the things they were doing. If you're not familiar with what they're doing, get familiar with what they're doing. They're having a lot. That was I was a student TA for what was it, home ec or foods 2 or something like that. And yes, they cooked and stuff, but man, they've taken it to another level. So I'm really impressed right now with where Glide's going, and some of I just keep getting more and more amazed by the teachers and what they're doing with the students. They're great. I don't know what other schools are doing or not, so I'll just keep my head in the sand there and think our teachers are the absolute best. So, bar none, they are busting butt at getting these students engaged. And as a teacher too, that is one of my primary. You want to get my ire up? Don't engage the students. That's bad teaching in my book, and I'm seeing great teaching. So I could hope to be that good. So I'm done with my rant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to
Let me have 3 minutes.
thank on my own class for feeding us such a fine dinner. That's a pretty good deal. And the bread was amazing. And also I'm pretty happy that we got the Guide School Board vision statements passed, and I hope that turns out to be something that we can look back on and say we did a good job there. So that's about all I have.
I have to talk, Robert, I have to share Alex's first day, my oldest son at Glide Elementary, they went to the pumpkin patch. He was like, I want to go to this school, Mom. This is the coolest place. I mean, that was like the best first day ever. And so he still will talk about that. My first day at Glide Elementary, I went to the pumpkin patch. So that was pretty cool. So I can definitely relate to that story. I really, I echo the thanks to the students that put the dinner on today. It's just so exciting to see that and the opportunities that are there, and thinking about it. And so if there's any other, things like that, please let us know how we can engage. And I also just want to shout out that the art teacher is doing this really unique thing. My nephew is in art, And it's actually posted online. I get to see my nephew's art projects because it's all online and I can go and see what he's created, give him comments back about great job. And it is also in terms of like engaging, you know, and he gets some praise from all of that. Normally it wouldn't be something that as his aunt I would ever see, most likely. And so I think it was just a very unique to also, and then you could like buy stuff off of it. Like if I want to make him a t-shirt or something like that of his artwork. So I thought it was a really unique way of engaging the students and getting some recognition. So just want to shout that out. I will also say that I have definitely talked to a lot of parents in athletics over the last couple of weeks since we did get the news about the not moving our district. And I think that's been hard for everybody, and I understand that that's what it is, but just want to shout that out, that it's just kind of hard for the students. I can see playing against these really big schools, you know, especially for the basketball team. The boys basketball team is kind of struggling with that. They don't have the height, you know, and I've seen definitely improvement there, but it is hard, I think. So I'll just call that out because I've sat in the stands with a lot of folks. And also just in terms of wrestling, the classic was last weekend. We heard about the bus not making it, but I will definitely say that, again, it's an opportunity for students, after saying, to get exposed to something huge in terms of they had, I think, my husband said, I think they had over 2,000 wrestlers show up to that tournament. And so the fact that Glide continues to be invited really speaks to the level of commitment that they have to wrestling and the program and the athletics and the students that show up, because also, you know, some schools have not been invited back because of the problems that they've had with the students or the coaches or, you know, things like that. So I think it just really reflects on, and the students, you know, get to have an experience of going to Bend, you know, to this big tournament. And I think that is really, really a great thing to really provide. Yes, the elementary school for the teachers.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
And our invitation to the spaghetti dinner. All right, thank you. Just real quick, I'm gonna say that I know I've been talking about and I know we all want to get out of here. I've been talking over several meetings that we've had about the rural caucus that the OSBA was forming, and that was, so we all voted to, that we wanted that to be a thing, and that did pass. There is now the newly formed rural caucus. I am now the vice president of that, and I am the District 9 representative for Douglas South Coast, and also the legislative committee member. So we have an OSBA legislative committee meeting this coming Sunday for 2 hours on Zoom. That'll be fun. And so I will keep you all abreast of what is going on there. So that one is on Zoom. The one in April is in person in Salem. So, and the caucus itself, the rural caucus is it's a brand new thing. So they're really just trying to kind of figure out what their premise is, but really it's a voice for the smaller districts because it can't be a cookie cutter thing. So not one size doesn't fit all. And so I'm hoping to be the voice for us. So if you have anything you want to say, or please feel free to reach out if there's something I can help with, and I will bring the information back here, and this should be interesting. So, all right. Thank you very much for, for sure.
That's awesome.
Thank you all for coming, those of you that are still here with us, and good night. This meeting is adjourned.